What's our most valuable resource? People say, oh, it's money, or it's food, or it's shelter, or it's family and friends, or it's our health. While all those are important, none of those compare to our true most valuable resource, and that is time. We all have a limited amount of ticks on the clock, and it is incredible how easily we waste it without even thinking about it, like we are going to live forever. And when we have such a huge gap between death and our lives in the present moment, it creates the space for a lot of wasteful decisions on how we spend our most valuable resource. It would be like living in the desert and there's big bottles of water to quench our thirst and just dumping it out into the sand. That's how we spend time. But because in our society, in our culture, death is not something that is really talked about or something that is really part of our culture, part of our society, like it is maybe in some Asian cultures. We just avoid it. We hide it, we avoid it, we don't want to talk about it. And I love the practice of the Buddhist monks, meditating at cemeteries. I've even gone to cemeteries and just would sit and just contemplate, these people, read the headstones, and these people who had dreams, hopes, ambitions, loved ones, and they're gone. They're no longer around. And it's not depressing. It could be, though, if we frame it the wrong way. For me, it allows us to squeeze the most juice that we can out of our own lives. That doesn't mean that every single second has to be productive and every minute has to be, planned and used wisely, because there, in anybody's life, in anything, there's going to be waste. But what it allows us to do is appreciate our lives a lot more and make decisions knowing with the just like front and center in our minds that death is imminent. It's coming for us. It's coming for all of us. And if we utilize it wisely, it can allow us to live so much more richly, so much more fully, so much more satisfied. Because when something is a limited resource, we appreciate it a lot more. When something is abundant, we tend to just be, careless with it. And that's important for us to remember, and it's important for us to have a reminder. There's even apps now that you type in some information, your age, when you were born, your lifestyle, and things like that, and it'll calculate when your approximated age that you'll die at. And I know some people say, oh, that's grim, that's terrible. Why? It's a fact. And if we deny that fact, we don't live a full life, because we just think that, we're going to live forever, or we just don't even think about it. And it's kind of exciting to think about all the benefits of having this mindset, that things are temporary. Not only does it allow us to live more in the present moment, but it allows us to realize all the stuff we worry, stress, and are anxious about are passing. Not getting the job, getting rejected by the girl, losing something, making a mistake, having a failure, a business failure, whatever. It's all temporary. And not even temporary at the point of death. It's temporary even while we're here. How much of the things that we got so worked up about a year ago, 5 years ago, even matter today? or even, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a week ago. Sometimes I'll just put in my to-do list something that I'm stressing about, and I'll have it come up a week later to remind me. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even believe I was worried about that. I didn't even think about it. And so it's just really refreshing to have these types of conversations with people, even though it makes them uncomfortable, but remind ourselves that, yeah, life is fleeting, man. So grab on while you can. And what it allows you is just to realize that time is so valuable. On our deathbeds, you're not going to be looking back at your life and going, I wish I spent more time on screens, or I wished I spent more time, whatever it is, being mad at someone, arguing with people, being inebriated, getting drunk, doing drugs, whatever it is. That's not what we're going to regret. Spending even more time at work. We're going to regret that we didn't recognize now that these are the good times. This is the good times. This is as good as life gets. And it allows us to appreciate the present moment so much more with that perspective. And we don't need to climb to the top of Mount Everest in order to appreciate life. Life is really joyful in the ordinary life, the simple pleasures, the simple things. That's what brings meaning to life. I just visited my family, and we didn't, because of everything that's going on. It's not like we did a bunch of things, but just the simple things, the laughter, the little activities that we did, the teasing of each other, joking around, the interesting conversations, the words of affection, the connection. Like, that's really what we as human beings makes us feel loved, and what makes us feel purposeful, and what makes us enjoy life is connecting with other people, not staring at screens. Screens is a poor substitute for that. And when you realize life is temporary, you give up the need for it to be perfect. And when you release that, it just takes such a burden off, and you can accomplish and do so much more. You can be courageous. You can put yourself out there. You can put your work out there, because you don't have as much time as you think. We all don't know how long we are gonna live. And so why not share with the world who we are, share our gifts with the world, share our art with the world, share our writings with the world, share our videos with the world, and do it imperfectly. And that's the wonderful thing about being human, is we're all so flawed. We are all so flawed, and we all so desperately try to hide our flaws. And it's just so inauthentic, and it robs us from being able to connect with people on a deeper level. And when we know that everything is temporary, you're like, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, and we don't have to take life so seriously. We really don't, when we put things that there's an end time here, and there's a ticking clock, and it's a huge motivator. If you like the video, I do life coaching, been doing it for 11 years, almost 11 years, and it's extremely affordable. The consultation is complimentary. The first session's 50% off, and it's something everybody can benefit from. Send me an email. It's in the description. And I want to thank you all for your comments. I read all the comments. If you'd like to support the YouTube channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. And I'd like to hear your thoughts and your perspective on how the keeping death front and center positively motivates you and impacts your life. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time. Bye-bye.